Okay, here's my COVID talk for today. First of all, let me introduce myself. This is Gail Minogue, the numerologist, and very happy and thank you for coming back to watch me again today. I really appreciate it. A lot of people, I just got my COVID shot yesterday at Dodger Stadium. I was stunned that I even got it. I got up at 3 in the morning, went down the computer and went online and got in. And what can I say? They just started serving COVID vaccine the day before at Dodger Stadium. So where there's a will, there can be a way, but we are on the other side of COVID. So I want to relay that message to you. COVID had a really distinct purpose. Okay, without it, a lot of the world would continue on the old way, the old structure, the old people in power, the old way of doing business, and it doesn't work. It didn't work anymore in the new day that's coming for the world. That sounds corny, but the Aquarian age is arriving, and particularly it'll be here in about 3 years, but I mean, you will realize it's here more in 3 years. But right now, COVID had a distinct purpose. Whenever we're going to do a massive change in society, there's some event that usually triggers it. It can be a war. It can be a pandemic like the Great Plague or the Spanish flu. In this case, it's the COVID or the virus COVID-19, which is now morphing into other types of variants. But nevertheless, the idea is that when this came in, which was around December of 2019, and I said everything is ruled by the heavens, okay? We've got to start looking at the heavens and what the transits are doing there, which will show you what's going to go down here on Earth. Because the transits in the heavens direct what happens to the peons here down on Earth and the events that go on, and so the cycles that go on. And so we think we can laugh, quote, at the gods, and we think we're in control, and we are not, as so many events show us. But the pandemic came in the sign of Gemini, which rules the lungs, and it's Gemini is an air sign, so it would be arriving with you through the air, and that's the body part that it would affect. It wasn't going to leave that area of that sign until late September, and then would have to get quite far away from that sign in order to feel less effects of it, which would put you around right where we are around the third week in January is where it would start. You start to notice the difference. So it's still here. It's not going to go away. Viruses don't go away. We're still living with the Spanish flu. We just have a different variety of it. So we'll have a different variety of COVID. It won't be the same, but we will have the vaccines. As I say, I just shockingly got my first one yesterday, and we will have more of them as the nations get their acts together and that we begin to understand that what happens here happens over there. If they get it, we'll get it back again in that cycle. But it is going to improve. So you want to look at, again, around the fall of 2021, fall to winter, where you have the majority, it's safer to say travel. I'm already booked for an event, live performance in October. And so you can start planning ahead because this is all in process. Now, certain states like California, I am completely locked down. I can't eat indoors or outdoors at a restaurant. And we're really had it. So we're trying to work out the system. It seems there was no real distribution program for this. So it's putting us a little bit behind, say a few months or so. But then it's on its way. It's not going to ever leave. It's going to change, and we're going to have tools to work with it just as we do with the annual flu. And so, but one of the things that's good about COVID, okay, it shook everything up to the point where we are looking at, we have to change this, we have to change that, we have to change the healthcare system. It's so bad. It's a defunct healthcare system in America. It's ludicrous and shameful. And then we have to, all the other structures that don't work right, okay, inequality, crazy here, too much there. You know, the farmers got billions of dollars because of Trump's tariffs, okay, that priced, and then he, you know, with all the trade situations with China, so it punished the farmers, but then the government gave the farmers billions. But what I'm seeing now is hundreds of thousands of restaurants have gone out of business, millions of, I don't know how many, millions of jobs connected to this. 85% of our economy is the service industry, and yet there's no lifeline for the restaurant business at all, except this pay protection program and all that. So there's a lot of priorities that need to be addressed and changed in America. And the COVID has done a job, just like it did with destroy 1/3 of Europe in the last plague, which made then the serfs have more power. Those who were still standing and could work were more valuable. So we have a couple of things going. COVID did its job. It came in. It started to pay attention to this system, that system, all these broken down systems, and what was the government doing where you couldn't really depend upon it, et cetera, et cetera. This is very, very positive, because otherwise we would have gone along the same way. You see the have-nots and the nots and then the haves. And so what can we expect over the much better situation by the fall and the winter, travel, et cetera? And since I have airline credit, I'm planning to use them in October. And I'm planning ahead, so I think it's very important that you plan now. You may be stuck. You can't go here. You can't go there. This is not permanent. This is temporary. And it's not denied. It's just delayed. So don't get your socks in a twist too much. We wear a mask. We protect ourselves, for crying out loud. And we grow up. We grow up. We start to mature, because Americans are still a 5 country, born on the 4th of July, 1776, and they keep repeating the same thing. It's very interesting about a 5 life path. They'll repeat the same thing, over and over again. It's like, why are you doing that? You've done that before. Oh, we're doing it again, and doing it again until you finally get it. And so we hopefully finally got it, all our protests and our frustrations, because as I said before on America, the stage it's in, has always been a protesting nation. And so now we are an agent of change, so we have to change or be changed. So yes, plan ahead. Make your plans for later in the year. Definitely. Why wouldn't you? Why would you be that pessimistic? We have a vaccine that only took 9 months to do. Usually they take 10. And I mean, I got a shot in the arm and they didn't even have this 6 months ago, which is outrageously good. And we're going to have more scientific breakthroughs because of COVID, because they're going to uncover other information they didn't know worked, and that will affect other diseases and conditions that this will help. So there's a real upside to COVID. And you don't want to look at it like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. I haven't seen the grandchildren. So what? Wait, you'll see the grandchildren another time. Stay healthy and take care of your immune system. One of the reasons that America has such a high dose of cases and deaths is because it has so much comorbidities from diabetes and kidney and high blood pressure, et cetera, because we eat ourselves into bad health and bad immune system and then a bad health service. So, and people can't afford the health service. So don't we need to make corrections here? So that's COVID has shown us, hey, you have a lousy healthcare system. Take care of it, because your people are going to die. And so now we have to pay more attention to our own immune systems and our own health, and stop eating the buffet, and stop going on these things and all you can eat. Well, look what it did to you. And so if you start looking at those who are dying of COVID, not that there aren't those who are very healthy or runners or whatever you want to say, the majority of them have underlying conditions. What can we do? So this has shown us we need to take better care of our health. So this is very good. And also COVID is going to help us to make changes in our society. That's very good. And also COVID is going to make us pay better attention to taking care of ourselves, and that we will once again be able to travel. I'm looking very forward. I have a birthday coming up and I can't celebrate it with any of my family. And I'm like, boo-hoo. But it's not hopefully going to be my last birthday. I'll have another one or we'll delay it. And one of the things that Americans have to learn is we don't get instant gratification. We don't. We all have to wait and postpone. And that isn't much fun because we're a 5 country. We like to move. I want it now. Hey, let's go. Well, good. It's good in certain areas, but when it's around this, it's our lesson to learn. Take care of ourselves. COVID is passing. You're going to have flare-ups because people are not paying attention to the ways that they can protect themselves and their neighbors. They're not wearing masks. There'll be more vaccines available. It will just take a little bit more time for distribution. Have no fear. Make your plans. Make them and stop worrying about it. and be able to be changed. If your job is no longer there, what can you do? And that's a whole nother visit in itself. What can you do to start a new canvas for your life? Okay, and stop hanging around with the gloom and doom people. All right, so I'll look forward to meeting you again on another, and we'll have a different subject besides COVID and the state of the Americas. We'll maybe talk more about numerology and all of that. We're actually, it's very exciting, we're in a 5-year, and that's America's Life Path. So I'll talk about that on another YouTube. The 5-year 2021 is a 5, and America has a 5 life path, and what can that do very positively for America? Because it's going to make a lot of change, particularly the second half of the year. So look for a lot of good change the second half of 2021. Thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to the next time with you. And again, this is Gail Minogue. If you need to reach me, please do at gail@gailminogue.com. Thank you.